personalities to fully express in the dash between.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. A morning show here. CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 100.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, iTunes, TuneIn, and Podchaser, Tiki Liveable, Audible, and more. Right? Because I want the maximum splatter zone for the show about hope and happiness. So there's no skill and no K word, no Kanye talk on this show, nor are we going to talk about the slap, although I am congratulating an amazing movie. If you haven't watched it, Coda is so beautiful. And you all know I have a series called Deaf Radio for our deaf community, where I bring an American Sign Language interpreter. So if you haven't checked that out, go subscribe on my YouTube channel so you can watch what I think is the most beautiful language in the world. So congrats to Coda, the movie last night. And if you want to see any of my red carpet interviews with a lot of the presenters yesterday, John Travolta, as well as Kevin Costner and more, also to the YouTube. And today I am delighted that I'm going to be bringing you some backstage interviews that I had at Secret Knock 2022. Yahoo Finance calls it the number one event to attend, as well as Inc., as well as Fortune magazine made the top list everywhere. And it's because Greg Reid, my friend, has such a knack for bringing very, very, very interesting people to the show. Several years back, there's Ed Snowden streaming in from Russia. And I got to interview Presidente Fox backstage of Mexico. So Joe, just continuing on, he brought astronauts and bailiffs and Carole Baskin. So that's what we've got ready and lined up today. I'm going to do as many of them as I can. We're going to be hiding all of the one people that I met this week and next in interviews that I had at Secret. So let's start with my astronaut who I caught on the red carpet.
And good day, this is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, reporting live from Secret Knock 2022. And this morning we had this fabulous talk of a guy who not only climbed Everest, he's also an astronaut. And I'm playing the whole speech that he did, but I wanted a separate, personal question. I'm going to delve into his deep, dark secrets. Just kidding.
Uh-oh. I better brace myself here.
Now, I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine.
Oh, that's a good tool.
And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? So, who are you and what do you want?
My name is Scott, and I want to pay it forward. I'm a technologist by vocation, so former astronaut, as you mentioned, but I'm trying to use my mind in ways that can improve healthcare delivery around the world.
Did you know when you were a kid that you wanted to be an astronaut?
Ever since I could walk and talk. My dad worked on the Apollo program when I was a little kid, so I grew up in the shadow of the Saturn V rockets that went to the moon, and I actually wanted to be the very first astronaut to walk on Mars. It didn't quite work out that way for me, but I still had a fantastic career.
How many trips did you go up?
I took 5 space shuttle missions.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Very lucky, and got a chance to go outside on 7 spacewalks, which is the ultimate, human experience, I think, to be outside floating freely, you know, flying at 17,500 miles an hour. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Recall your biggest point of fear and how you got over it.
Well, I'm a climber, and I was on the side of Mount Everest in May of 2008. I didn't know it at the time, but I had ruptured a disc in my low back, and it's a place that only you yourself can get yourself down. There's no one who can carry you down. Not even the strongest person alive could help you. Really, you've got to do it on your own willpower and strength. And so I was able to do it. It was one of the most painful things I've ever faced, and also frightening because the stakes were so high.
Yeah. What was going through your head? And I'm asking you the question because a lot of people are going through fear right now coming back from the pandemic.
Right.
You know, things that they couldn't control. What's the self-talk that got you down that mountain?
Well, visions of family, a future, knowing that, I'm a strong person, that, I could put and so what I did is I didn't focus on the end goal, which is getting down to base camp. I did it one rope length at a time, and I would get to the bottom of that rope length. I would ice my back down for 10 or 20 minutes. I would get back up, and I would, like Frankenstein, work my way down a little bit further, repeat, and it took forever and ever to get finally down, but I didn't get overwhelmed by the daunting distance that I had to go.
Great lesson. So the last question I always ask my guests is, to who or what are you most grateful for?
Oh gosh, I'm grateful for the people around me, my family and friends who, support me, challenge me, love me, and they also inspire me.
Beautiful. So this is what I do at the end of every show. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.
Got it. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet. I love your call sign, by the way.
You do?
Yeah, the Asian Oprah. That's great.
You like that? I was introduced to Oprah.
As the Oprah. Finishing that. I hope you enjoyed Scott 7 times into Scott Parazynski. I hope I said that right. He super nice guy, very humble. And yes, I was going to show you his talk, but the venue was so beautiful, as you saw. That echo was so strong that I couldn't doctor my tape enough for it to be quality enough for the this morning. So, but I think you got a sense. You can look him up. He's doing some really amazing things. I did invite him back to talk about some of the other things, and said yes. So we'll be hearing more from him. And we come back, we're going to be hearing from Carole Baskin. If that name sounds familiar, it's because the Tiger King series that took the pandemic by storm. She gave me a backstage interview, and I put them on the table, which is a Canadian version of Elephant in the Room, and asked him, like hard questions so that we could get things cleared up. That's when we come back here. Take my advice. Not using it, get back down with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Hi, my name's Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah and the celebrity host producer of your morning drive time show, 8 a.m., called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And I'm on a happy 88 mission. That's 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And therefore, I'm delighted to tell you we're going to start something new that balances out all the bad news and gives you something to smile about. Yes, I'm starting a compliment line. So if there's a compliment that you want to pay someone, maybe your boss, maybe that cute person that you've got your eye on, then you can do so by calling 888-909-1050 and tell my screener that I have a compliment for Dr. Marissa. So I'll put you on so you can give that compliment and feel good about giving it, and the person receiving will feel good as well. There's more than one way to be happy with Dr. Marissa. Keep it tuned here to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show at 8 a.m. weekday mornings here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it! Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. Not using it. Get balanced. Dr. Marissa, morning show here. KCAA, AC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, which houses not only the 667 shows after 518 consecutive weeks. Yes, we're almost to 9 years. May 1st, it'll be 9 years. Unbelievable. But you'll also get my red carpet playlist mentioned before. You can get my interview with Halle Berry, Travolta, who was bald yesterday on the Oscars. So it took me a second to recognize that is John. But he gave me not one but two hugs. But you can get all that on my YouTube channel that you can free subscribe, and then you'll get an alert that a live show is coming on every weekday morning. And we are highlighting Secret Knock, where I was on location last week. I've been a speaker on stage this time. I got just enjoy and do backstage interviews. And the one that people have been waiting for is with Carole Baskin. So without further ado, here she is.
And good afternoon. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live at Secret Knock with one of the speakers that was on stage yesterday and continues to have many people want to meet her. You will know her name if I say Tiger King. It is Carole, and she is here to talk to me on the side
as Dr. Marissa to find out her side of things that did not get shown on Tiger King. So without further ado, did I do that on you already? I don't have an answering machine. Did I do that? No? Awesome. So I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So, Carole Baskin, who are you and what do you want?
Well, I am Carole Baskin, and I want a world where all wildcats live free.
And I guess I'll get straight to the point. Did you kill your first husband?
No. My first husband actually died from a heart attack. My second husband, if anybody watched Tiger King, which we determined nobody in that crowd did, except for one guy. One guy did come with me. But in Tiger King 2, one of my enemies from Tiger King 1 produced a document from the Homeland Security saying that my husband, Don Lewis, my second husband, was alive and well in Costa Rica 5 years at least after I last saw him.
So you heard it here. Stop speculating. Stop MSU University making shiitake up when you're watching the show. So now that we have that out of the way, did you think as a child that this would be something that you were going to be doing?
No, I thought I would be rescuing domestic cats and kittens from being killed in shelters due to overpopulation, and thought that that would be a very expensive endeavor because when I was a kid in the 70s, there were something like 3.5 million cats dying every year in U.S. shelters. And so the only way to fix that is through aggressive spay and neuter. And that's still on my roadmap. I just got to take care of this big cat thing first.
Yeah. So what was the incident that first made you go, I need to help the big cats?
Oh, wow. Because I was spending so much time in veterinary offices because I loved cats, when a bobcat gets hit by a car, the vets can fix them up in 30 minutes or so. But then you're talking months of rehab before they can be released. And they're like, you like cats, you like feral cats. These cats you can't touch. Can you take care of these cats? And so from the time that I was 17 years old, I've done bobcat rehab and release.
And where was that?
This was in West Virginia and in Florida.
Wow. Okay. So the rehabilitative part of your practice or your life's work started young.
Yes.
Right?
I left home at 15, so I was already out on my own by the time I was 17.
Can I ask why?
It was a huge misunderstanding between my parents and I. My father would not allow me to work. My parents were very poor, and I felt like I should help support the family. And my mother and I, for the first time ever, got into a fight. And we had been like best friends my whole life. I was 15 years old, and we had never had a fight, never had a harsh word. And she said, when I get home, I don't want to see you here. And I thought she meant ever. So I packed up everything and left home, and then didn't check in until, I don't know, probably close to a year later, and found out they had APBs out for me in 5 different states. Because of course she didn't mean that. She meant just stay in your room tonight because I'm sick to death of you.
Oh, wow. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was really horrible for everybody.
But you reconnected?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And
in fact, both of my parents worked for me until my father died in 2016 and my mother retired in 2018.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a tough one though. I mean, that was a rough year for both of you probably.
It was, I was living on the street, sleeping under trucks. I would sleep underneath trucks so that people wouldn't see me sleeping out on the street because I was a pretty young girl and I didn't want people taking advantage of me. But I had to always be kind of listening for who's going to move this car first thing in the morning, and I got to get out from under it.
Good Lord. So you went to the School of Hard Knocks a little bit, huh?
Yes. It's a great school. I recommend it to everybody.
I don't know if I recommend it, but it definitely is it's a good teaching tool, right? And I did see you tear up a little, and I want to say thank you because I love when my guests cry because tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. So thanks for opening yours to me. And I'm sorry that you went through that, but I'm really glad that you came out of it and you reconciled and you've learned.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So when did
really
all
careful
this...
about what I say to my daughter.
Yeah, please don't. If you have a fight, say you can come home tonight. I just don't want to see you for another 4 hours, right? And how old is your daughter now?
She's going to be 42 this summer.
Okay. And you have a good relationship with her.
She runs the sanctuary.
Oh, she does. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That how nice to have your daughter do that.
In fact, today I got a call about a bobcat that was in trouble. And so I'm like, I'm in California. And so she ran out to see if she could help it, but the cat escaped her. So we're going to be contacting all the neighbors and saying, hey, if you see this cat, let us know.
Yeah. It just got loose.
Well, it's supposed to be loose, but what's happening in Florida is a disease called FLM, and it's wiping out the Florida panther and the Florida bobcat. And what they look like is like they're drunk. They just kind of wobble all over the place and they can't catch their food. But he was still mobile enough to get away from our people. So you have to wait until they're really, really down before we can catch them.
Right. All right. So we cleared up the murder one. Now let's clear up the other one. When did all that start? Like, I know the series, I don't even know if it talked about like the first volley, like who did the first volley. I'm guessing Joe, but tell me how that all came about.
I've never even spoken to Joe Exotic. So the whole idea that they made this into a feud was ridiculous. There's a show out right now by Kate McKinnon called Joe versus Carole. And they actually show very clearly how this whole thing started, whereas Tiger King did not.
No.
But to answer your question, what had happened was I keep a website called 911 Animal Abuse. And whenever there are big cats that are being abused by people, I put it on this site so that when people contact me and they say, what do you know about this place? It's got all of their citations, all of the reports, everything that I can find for that person. So I had 21 different entities that I was tracking, and they all turned out to be Joe. And one day I realized, I was like, look at the pictures here. This guy that's wearing these handcuffs and has this mullet and this goatee, he's in every single one of these pictures, but every one of them had a different banner, like Great Awakening and Cody Ryan and Joe Exotic and all of these different names. And so when I went to my husband, I was like, look at this. There's 21 of these people, and they're all this guy, Joe Schreibvogel. And so my husband said, my husband's a Harvard MBA, and he has a law degree but doesn't practice law. And he's like, well, let me write that page up because he's really good at organizing. And so he did that. Joe had a fit when he saw that. So it's always been between my husband and Joe, never between me and Joe.
But he didn't put the hit out on your husband. He put the hit out on you.
Yeah. And I think, it's because it's easier to blame a woman when you're somebody like him that just had such a horrible relationship with his mother. And I feel for the guy. I feel like everybody does the best that they can for where they are at this point in their path. And so I can't hold that against him.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a very magnanimous and generous way to summarize that experience. And kudos to you. It's actually something that I say that everybody does the very best that they can do. If they could do better, they would.
I think so.
But they can't. So I'm not going to let myself get all, my undies tied up because of what they're doing. But he's still in jail, as far as I know. Yes,
he is. He had petitioned for a reduced sentence. He had been given 22 years. And under the petition, they gave him 21 years. So I feel like I'm still safe for a while.
Yeah. That is hard. You got death threats?
I got death threats from him and from a lot of these other people. So that was the thing I think Tiger King really missed the boat on, is they knew, because I dealt with them for 5 years, talking to them about all these different people and showing them all of the threats. And all of these guys know each other. And so it's just a network of really nasty, angry animal abusers that didn't want their industry to stop. And they felt like if they could just shut me up, that it would. And so, or if they could shut me up, they could keep doing what they were doing. And, all of the negative things that they have said about me are because there's no good argument for what they do. If the media is talking to them about their cute little cubs, and I say, well, none of those cubs can ever go free, and come back next year and see if you can even find any of those cubs, and you can't, they can't talk about that. So they start saying all of the horrible things about, well, she must have fed her husband to the tigers because he disappeared. No, he just disappeared. I didn't feed him to the tigers.
You mentioned the 5 years that you worked with Tiger King, and I was struck on stage when you said you thought it was going to be like The Cove or Blackfish. And I actually got to interview Rick O'Barry
Oh,
from the
wow.
Cove.
Wow.
So this is kind of cool. You're going to be on my show too. So I've got this, the animal activism going on with with the theme, which is good. Um, did they? When did it change? Like, did they mislead you thinking that it was going to be more like that?
When they were filming it, in fact, one of the guys who worked on the Cove, and now his name is escaping me, but one of the producers was one of the producers for what ended up being Tiger King. But for the 5 years that I was filming, they said it was going to be called, it was either Stolen World or Stolen Wildlife. And as recently as, I'm thinking it was probably October or November of the year before this show came out, they showed me their sizzle reel and what they were trying to get CNN to buy. And CNN was the one that ran Blackfish. And the whole show was exactly what we had been talking about. It was showing all of these horrible people doing horrible things to the animals. And it talked about how there were a couple of people, me and Brittany Pete from PETA, who were trying to stop it. And so that's what we thought they were working on. But CNN didn't buy it. And so what I'm thinking is when they realized we've got this show, we've spent 5 years on it, we're never going to get our money back unless we turn it into something fictional and sell it to somebody like Netflix. And so I think that's why they did what they did.
But they never came to you and said,
No.
"Oh, I'm so sorry." Well, as I say too, when bad things happen, I say I can't wait to see what good comes out of this.
Absolutely.
So, what good came out of this for you?
When I would go to Congress and lobby for our bill, and I've been trying to get this bill passed since 1998. I got a version of it done in 2003 that made it illegal to sell a big cat across state lines as a pet. And part of the reason that Joe Exotic and some of these other guys are now indicted is because they've violated that Lacey Act law. But what I've been trying to do since 2003 is close the loopholes that were caused by this cub petting, where they're breeding hundreds of these cats each year. And then they can only use them for about a month, and then they have to get rid of them, which is why they disappear. And so,
Kill them.
There's rumors from these places saying that as soon as they can't use them, they kill them and incinerate them. What I found, we actually did a show called Carole Baskin's Cage Fight, and it's streaming on Discovery Plus.
Okay.
And Joe Exotic's niece worked with me, and she said, I'll show you where the bodies are buried. And what she did was we went out there, we dug up all of these tiger cubs that, after they were just a little bit too big to be used, and all of their teeth had been cut out because they can sell the teeth for jewelry. And she said that he did that all the time. And they can sell the bones, they can sell the hides. And so we actually, that show, if you want to see bloodshed and car chases and drone footage and me going after these bad guys like I have been for the last 25 years, then that's the show to watch.
Okay. And what is that called, and where is it?
It's called Carole Baskin's Cage Fight, which I thought was a clever name.
Very
I didn't come up
clever.
with it. And it's streaming live on, or not live, but it's streaming on Discovery Plus.
Okay. So you can watch that for the other side to balance out the Tiger King MSU stuff.
But
Great.
to answer your question, when I would go to Congress, they had never heard of cub petting. They didn't know that people were doing this. And so when I said we need a law to ban this, they're like, nobody's doing that. It's not a big deal. And then Tiger King came out and they're like, oh my gosh, there are a lot of bad people doing bad things. So it
that
turned out to be
was
the good thing.
That's the good thing that came out. And I'm sure more good things are going to come out because you're obviously not going to stop what you're doing for a little while, right? Yeah, I'm so glad that I met you because honestly, the way that they depicted you and all of that was just so believable. And I feel horrible now for even thinking that you did all of that they insinuated that you did. So I'm very glad that I got to meet you in person. I am going to go out on a limb and actually give you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award, which I don't give all my guests, for the work that you're doing and talk about in spite of hardship, a lot of hardship, you're still continuing to do. Now tell me the good news about the legislation that's passing. You mentioned that on stage, as well as the story about how you said, was it on your vision board?
That was so funny.
That was the funniest thing you said.
The day I saw that and realized what had happened, I was like, oh, you got to be careful what you wish for.
Yes. So what was it?
So I've had a vision board since probably about 2005, and it was inspired by The Secret. So Oprah was such a huge proponent of The Secret. Created my vision board way back then, and one of the things said, "Everybody knows my name." And I thought that meant everybody knows my name, like they in the song Cheers, and from the show Cheers. Right. Not like everybody knows my name.
I know. My girlfriend in Guam, I told her that I got a soundbite with you and I think it was going to interview. She's like, "No way, Carole Baskin." So everybody does know your name. Hopefully this will help balance out all the bad news. As well, the new legislation that just passed, when is that go into effect?
Well, actually, it passed the House in the last session with a 2/3 majority vote, but it was the last month of the session and we didn't get it through the Senate. So that meant in the beginning of this session, which was January a year ago, we had to start all over again. And I've been starting over every year, every 2 years. But we're up to 300 co-sponsors across the House and the Senate, which means we do have the 2/3 we need in the House. And right now we're working on Senate co-sponsors. And so I really think this year, the year of the tiger, is going to be the year.
How perfect is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Again, everything happens like it should.
Exactly. And just so you know, I've had 2/3 of the speakers on The Secret on my show.
Oh my goodness.
So actually my best-selling book, 8 Ways to Happiness, was endorsed by Neil Donald Walsh on the back cover. And the foreword was written by Michael Bernard Beckwith, who's like my big brother. He's the one actually who introduced me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. So when you mention The Secret, Lisa Nichols has been on there. So it's kind of cool.
Wow.
But even though your vision board wasn't exactly what you had hoped
you got to make your vision board exact.
in a positive way, right? Right, for sure. Now, the last question that I ask all of my guests, actually before that, is there anything else that you wanted to, say to whoever is going to watch this? And
what I hope people would do is go to cubtruth.com. We have some videos there of what really happens with these cubs. And at the end, then you can actually reach out through a service that we provide. You just put in your name and address, and it actually will contact your member of Congress. It has a pre-filled email for you, a pre-filled tweet for you, and it'll even dial their phone number for you and give you a little script. Yeah.
Make change easy in the legislation. That's so wonderful. So the last question I ask my guests is, to who or what are you most grateful for?
Oh, wow. There's such a long list in fact, I lay in bed every morning before I get out of bed, and I just think of all the things that I'm grateful for until I just run out of things or think, I got to get out of bed because I can't do this all morning. And I think the people who have been the biggest help to me in the last 20 years, of course, have been my husband and my daughter.
Beautiful. And their names are?
Howard Baskin is my husband. We're going to celebrate 20 years together in November. And
any plans?
No, we don't have any.
Okay.
Yeah, we should do something.
Yes, absolutely. I endorse that.
We work 7 days a week from daylight to dark. And then my daughter, Jamie, has been taking care of the cats since she was 12 years old. She runs the sanctuary. She runs the volunteer program. She's just a powerhouse. And so I could not be here doing this sort of thing if it weren't for her.
Wonderful. Well, that satisfies my compliment Tuesday as well, because every Tuesday I make people do compliments. So you did that. And I wish you very much well. Tell everybody once again where they go to watch things, where they go to sign up. And please do go and support Carole Baskin. God knows she's deserved it after what she's gone through.
So please go to cubtruth.com. You can see Carole Baskin's cage fight on Discovery Plus. It's streaming. And I would actually recommend Joe versus Carole that Kate McKinnon just came out with. It's 8 episodes, but one of the people that watched it said it sounded like an 8-hour ad for why we need the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which is the federal bill that we're working on. So I thought, if that's the takeaway people get, then they should watch it, even though it's not entirely accurate.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing it's a tad bit more accurate than Tiger King was.
Probably 100 times more accurate. But still, it's hard for somebody to really tell your whole life story.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, thanks again.
Thank
I wish you
Dr.
very much
Marissa.
well. And this is what I do at the end of every show. Let's see if we can do it with this hand. Peace in. Actually, you did it with me
I
already.
did.
Peace in. Peace out. world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live with Carole Baskin here at Secret Knox, and I'm going to bring this interview to you on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
I love that.
I hope that you enjoyed that. Let me just get some applause because I'll chat a little bit about the impact of that interview on me when we come back from break here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Are you having a tough time feeling happy about what's going on around you? Do you want to work with someone who knows how to choose happiness no matter how fluxed up things are? Then contact Dr. Marissa, best-selling author of 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. And that wherever includes the middle of a pandemic, because pain in life is mandatory, but suffering is optional. There is hope and happiness for you right now, especially now. Schedule your Zoom Get Happy session at www.drmarissa.life today.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it! Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, iTunes, TuneIn, Podchaser, Tiki Live, Rumble, and more. Because I am on a Happy 88 mission. I am so happy we made a couple adjustments on the technical side. Thank you, Polly. I'm on a Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So that is why I'm in so many places. I have a longtime listener, April, who says that my new tagline should be, Dr. Marissa, she's everywhere. So that is the reason why. And I hope you enjoyed that interview just now with Carole Baskin, who, those of you who watch Tiger King, I think most people watched Tiger King during the pandemic. It was a very interesting series, lots of conjecture, and I was one of them that really thought she killed, fed her husband to the tigers. That was that was what was presented, and it's just, just shows you what media can do if you take a little here, take a little there, and you can create this thing that was so believable. I really, really believed, as most people did, that she fed her husband to the tigers, but it's absolute. I believe her that she did not. I also believe that she was done, a little wrong. That the whole filming for 5 years was not bought by CNN. It was shown to her as if it should have been about, just like The Cove, when I interviewed Rick O'Barry to expose the dolphin slaughter in Taiji, Japan. This was to expose Joe Exotic and a bunch of the other guys who are in the business of doing something extremely unnatural, taking a wild animal. I know it's cute to pet them, but they're not supposed to be pet. So I'm really glad this is one of those interviews where it's actually quite funny. I was offered her probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and for some reason I didn't take the interview. And when Tiger King came out, I went, oh, that's why. But I was wrong. And yeah, I know I don't admit that a lot, but I am admitting it now. I was totally wrong about the way that I looked at her and the way that I felt about her. So feel free to share that interview. I'm going to cut it and actually put it in a separate one, because I think it's important that we absolutely support her work in, stopping people from doing what Joe Exotic did. Now, a little change in plans. I was planning on bringing you Bailiff Byrd, but his interview with his beautiful wife is like 30 minutes long. So I'm making a decision to sort of change the order of some things. I'm going to bring his interview to you tomorrow or later this week, definitely. I have to go play some shuffleboard with my guests lined up this week. But I did want to show you this one because this is one of my favorite interviews with the son of the fabulous originator and creator of Secret Knock.
Of Secret Knocks here in San Diego. This is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, reporting live, and I have a repeat interview coming up. We did the bump, what, a couple of years ago? Yeah, a couple of years ago. We got to do that again. Ready? Okay, go out of frame. Ready, and oh, sorry. Boom, and 3 for good measure. And what's your name?
I'm Cole Reid.
And who's your dad?
Greg.
And what's the best thing that you like about your dad?
Right now is how motivational he can get on stage.
And you said something on stage before about who you are. Let's repeat that.
My name is Cole. I'm powerful. I'm brave. I'm wise. I'm worthy. I'm successful. My name is Cole.
Can you tell he's Greg Reid's son? So, do this with me. Ready? Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. You like that? That's cool. I want you to have the best life ever.
You too.
Oh, thank you. One more bump? Sure. Ooh.
I muted myself. Doesn't happen very often, but I hope you enjoyed that. He is just adorable and inspiring and just amazing. And so you'll have to keep an eye on him. It's no surprise that this is the son of Greg Reid, and I just love interacting with him and being inspired by him. He actually has his own very large Instagram. It's Reid Colt, so you'll have to go follow him. Now, I'm going to play for you a recap of the day one so you can see some of the other speakers that were there. This is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, and I'm here at Secret Knock 2022. Shanna's on stage. All the people are here. So we're going to have some fun. Keep it tuned here. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. One more time. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Cole Reid at his phenomenal event. One more time. It's a gorgeous setting.
I'm so looking forward to this book coming out. And we were
jaw-droppingly beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I have so many memories etched in my mind, and I hope that someone new in this new era of commercial human spaceflight support me, challenge me, love me, and they also inspire me.
Beautiful. So this is what I do at the end of every show. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.
Got it. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet. I love your call sign, by the way.
You do?
Yeah, the Asian Oprah. That's great.
You like that? I was
remember
introduced to Oprah.
I was living in this mess, 6 feet apart, mask or no mask. I just came back from London, England 2 weeks ago. That's a long way with a mask on humans.
And guess who I have here? It's Tim Story. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live. You know me as the Asian Oprah. And he knows my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith. So peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Thanks for your message.
There's Shannon. Special guest.
How are you?
Good. New friend. All right. That was highlights from day one. Here's some highlights from day two. As you can see, it was a great venue, but as you can see and hear, I normally play a lot of what I get people, especially Dia Diamond. I'm sorry, I know you're going to be watching this because she loves Secret Knock, and she wasn't there, and she does watch these religiously, but I couldn't play the entire stage part of Scott Parazynski because of the echo. So I apologize for that, but that was proof right there. And here's some highlights from day two. This is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, and it's day two. I'm on location. Hashtag Dr. Marissa reporting live at Secret Knock. We've had fabulous speakers continuing on to educate us, entertain us, and tell us what's right about us. So that's why this is one of my favorite events. That I get to speak at, that I get to film at, that I get to cover the red carpet, and just have a lot of fun. Make sure you get on the list for the next Secret Knock Dr. Marissa reporting live. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.
You want something better? Simply start making different choices. And it starts by figuring out who you're hanging out with. What do you allow in your brain? The power of environment. Are you in the right environment today? Yes. We heard? Yes.
And guess who I have here? Dr. Marissa reporting live. You know me as the Asian Oprah. And it is Sharon Lusher, the fabulous.
Great first day at Secret Knock.
Yeah, really. What was your favorite thing?
They're all friends. I can't say that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Wonderful to see you, Sharon. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Ask me if I'm happy. That's true. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. another past guest slash friend. You remember him, the Beast.
The Beast is in the room. The Beauty and the Beast. She's the beauty, I'm the Beast. Okay, now we got that figured out.
So how you been doing?
You know, it couldn't be better. It's been fantastic. Thank you. A lot of really good things. We live in Utah now. Love our state that we have there. And Kathy has a new novel out. I have another new book coming out. I've got a docu-series coming out. So been busy during the pandemic.
Good. How did you?
Yes, lots of great speakers. There was, I don't think I have that reel, but some really good friends of mine that you will actually get their red carpet or side interview or backstage interview on my red carpet playlist. Please free subscribe on my YouTube channel. The founder of UGG, Brian Smith, as well as, who else was there? Now I'm going blank, but a lot of my favorite people who are constantly on these kinds of stages have been on my show. So for their interviews on the carpet and in my studio, go to my YouTube channel. So that is the recap. Tomorrow I will bring you my long interview with both Byrd, the Bailiff, Petrie, and his beautiful wife, who were there as speakers, and he sings for me as well on that interview. So it was a one that I didn't want to rush through and cut off. So we'll be playing that one tomorrow. There's other guests that are coming on who have expertise in helping you through trials and tribulations, as well as marketing, as well as social media. So a whole collection of great speakers and great interviews that I met at Secret Knox. So that's pretty much this week and a little of next week as well. I'd like to invite you, before we end, Wednesday is my Get Happy free Zoom. That happens at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Go to my website, www.drmarissa.life, and sign up. And we just talk about getting happy and vent and talk about what's keeping you from being 88% happy. I will also say that, well, we're not going to get into it. I was going to talk about the Oscars, but I see that we're almost out of time. So I'm going to have to close. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow, but it borderlines on no scandal. And that's a rule here. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my loving room during the pandemic, hoping that you remember that it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through, inner peace. Go forth and have the best conversation today and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.